Check out FlipsideGaming.com for all your gaming needs. Use the promo code HEROES to save 10% on all orders over $10 and support the channel at the same time. Hey there, this is John from Heroes and Legends, and welcome to part 1 of our 5-part Core Set 2019 pre-release prep series, where today we're going to look at some of the more notable white cards with a special focus on the commons and uncommons, which you're going to see quite a bit in your sealed pool of the pre-release. Quickly before we get started though, just a fast reminder, if you check out the description below, you'll find a few ways to help support what we do here at the channel. You're going to find our Patreon page down below. You're going to find links to products on Amazon. If you make any purchases on Amazon, once you go through that first link, we'll get a small percentage no matter what it is for the channel. Finally, Flipside Gaming is still offering a promo code for our viewers, so you might want to check them out. Hopefully you can save some cash while you support us. They also are still offering those exclusive Richard Kane Ferguson playmats. If you're a fan of old school Magic art, especially from Legends, you might want to check those out. With all that out of the way, though, again, thank you not only to the folks that look at those links, but to all the viewers. You all help out the channel so much, I can't even begin to tell you. But let's get into it. We're going to start off by looking at the signpost cards that include white. Now, what I mean by signpost cards, this is a term that Wizards of the Coast uses in development. A lot of times they will create uncommon cards that are 2 colors to really showcase, especially to the new players, what those color combinations are trying to do. Now, in sealed, you might not have as many opportunities to exploit these combinations and some of their synergies as you would maybe in a draft, but I think it's still important to be aware of them when you look at your sealed pool. So we're going to look at the ones that touch white right now. We're going to begin with Aerial Engineer. Of course, that's the blue-white Azorius colors, and they have an artifact theme. It's not about as many artifacts as you can cram into the set. It's really about artifact consistency. You'll find cards that will get bonuses if they have artifacts in play. They'll be able to interact a little bit with artifacts. And again, as long as you feel like consistently in your deck you can have an artifact out most of the time, you might want to think about some of the cards that have those synergies. Regal Bloodlord is the next one in black and white or Orzhov colors. And as you can see, life gain is the name of the game here. You're going to find a lot of cards that help you gain life, and a lot of cards that will do things for you when you do gain life. Heroic Reinforcements in Boros, that's red and white. And this is a very solid card on its own. But aside from all that, those colors are about going wide and then trying to give bonuses to your small creatures so you get in there for a big attack. And that last one is Satyr Enchanter in the Selesnya colors, green and white. And their focus is about auras, enchantments. So you're going to find a lot of those type of cards in those colors. You're also going to find cards that work well with them. For example, maybe a creature that is going to give you something if you target it with an aura. Or an aura that can be returned from your graveyard to your hand for a cost. So you don't have to worry as much about being 2 for 1 if you're going down that road and using that strategy. Okay, let's look at some commons. These are the cards you're going to have the most of. So if you see a number of these in your pool, maybe you want to lean towards white because you could have a solid white build there. I tried to pick commons that aren't too reliant on other cards. Some of these will play well with some of the signpost cards we just saw, for example, but that really wasn't the criteria. I was just trying to find some cards that are going to be solid overall. And the first one is Angel of the Dawn. Good example of this here because, of course, if you're in Boros colors going wide, this could be phenomenal to help you push across some late game damage, and also with the Vigilance for a turn, you don't have to worry about the crackback. But even just on its own, a 3/3 flyer for 5 can be very good for you in limited. And sure, it's not a bomb creature that you'd find maybe even at uncommon or rare, but it's still very, very solid and playable if that's what you got in your pool. Gallant Cavalry. This is really solid economy here, because what you're getting for 4 mana is 4/4 power and toughness on the battlefield. It is in the form of 2 creatures. They both have vigilance, though. I think that's actually pretty phenomenal, because many times if you're paying 4, you're probably getting a 3/3 creature, maybe with an ability if you're lucky and sealed. So this does go above curve, and again, it helps you go wide, but I'm not even too concerned about that, because I do think the economy on this card is great. Luminous Bonds. Alright, this is a very solid reprint here. If you ever played with this in Limited before, you know that for 3 mana, taking a creature out of combat situations can be very, very powerful. Especially if you're aggressive, or maybe you just need to defend yourself against a bomb creature or something like that. This is a really solid way to basically, quote-unquote, remove a creature when it comes to white. Doesn't deal with abilities, sure, and that is a drawback, but hopefully you'll have some other removal to deal with those situations. Pegasus Courser. Now, if you find yourself in a board stall, which is very likely in a game of sealed, you're going to want cards to help you get past that. This is one of those cards that you can find at common. It's a 1/3 flyer, not too impressive on its own, but when it attacks, giving another target creature flying until end of turn can be huge. Again, this is another card you may have played with before in Limited, and you kind of know what it does. When the ground's all gummed up, take your best creature, put it in the air, and sometimes it's just good enough to get by with a win. Starcrowned Stag. This card is very solid too, because yes, now we're looking more at a 3/3 for 4, which you'd expect. But what I love about this is the ability. We've seen this ability on a lot of red creatures in recent years, and they've been very solid. But when this attacks, tapping down target creature the defending player controls, again, that could be huge to get you past that board stall and kind of tip everything in your favor. Now, it might just be a one-shot. Your opponents might double block or something to get this thing off the battlefield, sure. But if you use it at the right time, this can be very powerful at common. Take Vengeance. Now you might look at this and say, okay, the creature has to be tapped to destroy it, which means I probably already took a hit from it in many cases. It's sorcery speed, but look at that casting cost. 2 mana. This is very splashable too, being a white and 1. This is an excellent piece of removal, especially in lieu of other, maybe harder to find removal spells that might be uncommon or rare. So if you have this in your pool, you're going to be real happy to run it. And this can easily turn the tide of a game from time to time, especially for that cost. All right, let's look at some uncommons. There's a few I wanted to feature here. All right, the first one is Pyromancers Cage. You're going to look at this card and you're going to say, wow, this is just a worse version of Cast Out. And you know what? You're right, this is a worse version of Cast Out. But the difference is, Cast Out is great in Standard, of course. This card's still going to be great for you in Sealed. Because, yes, it can't cycle, it doesn't have flash, but you won't care in Sealed. You're going to look for a way to get rid of a threat. This is going to get rid of a threat. It also exiles target non-land permanent. That's very important. We're not just talking about creature removal here. This can actually hit an artifact that's relevant, an enchantment, a planeswalker. So this can protect you against a wide variety of threats you might run into. Knightly Valor. Awesome reprint here when it comes to the world of Sealed. We've seen this in other sets, and it's been good in formats that play slow. It's been good in formats that play fast. This is a card that gives you tons of great economy. You're getting 4/4 power and toughness, this time for 5, but you're enhancing and giving vigilance maybe to one of your best creatures, perhaps a flyer or something else that's trample or some kind of evasion. And aside from that, you're also getting the 2/2 White Knight creature token with vigilance. There's just a lot happening there. That could turn the tide of a game in just one turn for 5 mana, and many times it has in the past. This is a really solid card. I think all these uncommons we're looking at today could be first pickable in certain packs in draft, but in Sealed, they are powerhouses for sure. Militia Bugler. Now this one is a new card. I haven't had a chance to play with it yet, of course, but a 2/3 with Vigilance for 3 actually feels pretty solid to me. And that ability is great because you are going to have a lot of smaller creatures in white just generally, and also just in Sealed. You're going to have a lot of 2 and 3 drops in your decks typically. So you will have those smaller creatures. This is going to allow you hopefully to hit one of those and move through your deck a little bit quicker. That's actually kind of awesome. Sure, you could miss with this, of course, and maybe if you don't have enough targets in your deck for some reason, you skip it. But for the most part, even if you did miss, a 2/3 for 3 with Vigilance isn't bad either. Alright, we're going to wrap things up by looking at some bomb rares and mythic rares. Now, you're not going to see these a lot, and you're going to be very lucky if you open any of these. But I wanted to feature a few of the bombs in this color that if you open that, you may want to start thinking about leaning towards that color. Now, you don't want to get sidetracked, and if you see one of these, just play white, even though all your other white is horrible, right? Just be real careful about that. But these are good indicators that maybe, just maybe, your pool could be stronger in this particular color. Mentor of the Meek. This card is just a bomb. I just mentioned a few moments ago that in Sealed especially, you're going to have a lot of smaller creatures. The ability to pay an extra mana when one of those enters the battlefield under your control to draw a card is huge. That can be backbreaking in a game. Ajani, Adversary of Tyrants. Okay, it's a Planeswalker. This one's probably pretty easy. For the most part, when you see a Planeswalker, you're going to take notice. This one especially, though, I felt was very solid. Again, that -2 interacts with smaller creatures, which is even more relevant in Sealed maybe than other formats. The +1 is good. The -7 is phenomenal if you can get there. That could be game-winning. But the reason I chose this card more than anything is just simply the economy behind it again. Even if I wasn't playing anything else relevant to it, 4 loyalty for 4 with these abilities is really, really solid. Planeswalkers are always going to be strong in Sealed, though. The last mythic I just wanted to talk about quickly, Resplendent Angel. And again, you're not going to see this or a Johnny very often, but if you happen to open one, you're probably having a good day. First, even if you don't read the rest of the card, a 3/3 flyer for 3 is going to be phenomenal for you in Sealed. That ability, if you have other ways to gain life, is going to be awesome. If you don't, though, that activated ability can still help make the card even more relevant by perhaps getting an angel for you in the late game or something along those lines, since this itself can generate the condition to get a 4/4 white angel creature token with flying and vigilance. That's pretty crazy. If you see this one, pay close attention to your white cards. Alright, with that being said, that is our look at some of the key white cards for Sealed that you might want to pay attention to during the pre-release. Tomorrow, we're going to be back with our Market Watch video, which we do every Saturday. And then Sunday, we'll continue this series looking at the blue cards, and we'll go through the color pie as we move into next week. Get you prepared for that pre-release the following weekend. Until next time, though, hey, thanks for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe, and have a great day. Hey, thanks for watching. This video is made possible by the generous support of viewers like you on Patreon. Check out the description below for links to our Patreon page as well as our Amazon affiliate store, where a small percentage of all sales will also help support the channel. Finally, if you haven't had a chance yet to subscribe, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any new videos on Heroes and Legends. Talk to you again soon, and have a great day.